Well, good morning and welcome to Morning Gospel Fuel with Mr. G. It is Wednesday, September 16th, the feast day of Saint Cornelius, who was a pope, and then also his good friend Cyprian, who was a bishop. And the Saint Cornelius specifically is the patron saint of earaches, epilepsy, cattle, and domestic animals. And both these guys were martyrs for the faith in like 254 AD, I think it was. Never I looked it up. But anyway, today's gospel is from Luke chapter 7, verses 31 through 35. Let's begin in the name of the Father, Son, and Spirit. Amen. Then to what shall I compare the people of this generation? What are they like? They are like children who sit in the marketplace and call to one another. We played the flute for you, but you did not dance. We sang a dirge, but you did not weep. For John the Baptist came neither eating food nor drinking wine, and you said, he is possessed by a demon. The Son of Man came eating and drinking, and you said, look, he is a glutton and a drunkard, a friend of tax collectors and sinners. But wisdom is vindicated by all her children. All right, so we've got Jesus' testimony to John, because this is just after John the Baptist had left. So this is earlier in Scripture, and Jesus is talking to the crowds after John and John's disciples had all left. So pretty much it's Jesus versus all the crowds, or Jesus is there to speak to them. And he gives them this parable because they're confused, and they're just trying to understand what's all going on with John's teaching, and also Jesus. Is he a prophet? Who are they? Do they come from the prophet Elijah, King David? Everybody's confused, but they're asking questions, and then as they are trying to gain and seek out wisdom and knowledge, Jesus tells them this parable, in which the parable talks about children. Right? In this children, they're in a gathering space, and Jesus gives the analogy of, they're in the marketplace and they play a flute. They play a joyful song, and they receive no reaction. There's no dancing or anything. Then they play a mournful song, because that's what a dirge is, and then they didn't even weep. So there's no reaction to either one, and they just kind of stay stagnant due to lack of interest and just refusing to believe either one. And then he followed that up directly with the attacking of John the Baptist, and they got on his case for neither drinking nor eating, and then they attacked Jesus because he did drink and eat with them. So it's kind of a lose-lose, and Jesus is trying to explain to them through parables that you got to pick sides. You can't just be stagnant all the time and refuse to grow. Then also, lack of growth means you're dying, because you're either growing or you're dying. And this is all relative to wisdom, because the last line was, but wisdom is vindicated by all her children. So vindicated, cleared of any blame or suspicion, right? So we all are on that path for wisdom. So with all this being said, because how many times are we in a conversation, or not even in a conversation, but you say or do something and you feel like it's a lose-lose situation. You feel like you're doing the right thing and you make somebody mad. Or you do something wrong, you make somebody mad. You're going to make somebody mad either way. We all have those situations where you had great intent, but somebody got you mad. I dealt with this in the classroom as a teacher all the time. But how many times do you feel like you're in a lose-lose situation? So Jesus is telling us, it's pretty much asking us to dive into, where do we get our wisdom? All right, so first we need to figure out what does wisdom mean? What's the definition of wisdom? It means that you are gaining knowledge and intellect, oftentimes based on experiences, so that you can make good and sound judgments. So you become wise, right? So people always say, talk to your grandparents with all the wisdom that they have, and the elderly with all their life experiences, right? So there are many approaches and different avenues that you can take in order to gain wisdom. in order to also grow in virtue, because all wisdom should help you grow in virtue and truth. This way you don't have to worry about all this lose-lose situation stuff of making people upset, because at least you're speaking virtuously to help people seek the truth. So anyway, that's what the challenge is for today, is where do you gain wisdom? Because a lot of people don't like talking face to face with people. We spend too much time on computers, maybe watching the video like what I'm doing now. And we just lost that human connection where students, whenever I, again, teach in high school classroom, where students are just they'd much rather be on their phone and not, relating face to face through conversation. So anyway, as we reflect on this morning in the gospel from Luke, we need to see, where do we spend our time? Because where we spend our time is oftentimes where we are gaining our wisdom, and sometimes it's not very wise. So is it through TV, the internet, videos, podcasts, news, parents, friends, relatives? Is it through Scripture? Wherever it might be, that's just that's what I want you to reflect on today. Where or who do you look for wisdom so that you can grow in virtue and truth? And if it's not good, find something else. And if it is good, keep it up. Have a great day. God bless. Keep it real. In the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen.